The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Our all in all, the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the Most Loved, General Assimi Goïta'S. Our all in all has sent some military to Morocco and China to go and learn some specific skills. Africa, we always sit here and say we need to strengthen our defense systems. Mostly we hear this from the democratic elected ones, always sitting down to talk and do nothing. But Abdurrahman Ichiani, Assimi Goïta'S, Ibrahim Traoré are not just talkers, and that is the reason to which they told us they are not politicians. Politicians, what they do best is to sit down and talk. Our defense is in our hands. We are the only people that can give ourselves the safety that we are looking for. And that is the reason to which we have had this military bases in Africa for decades. And Africa is still where it is. Nobody can fight and protect you better than yourself. Nobody will do best for you if you yourself do not wake up to do the best for yourself. And even though these democratic elected ones are very much aware of this, they still sit here and all we think about is how to get these military bases to increase in number. But we know that when these people come into the continent, what they do best is to come for the natural resources. They are never there to defend us. And that is why we've seen that in Nigeria, Boko Haram, for decades, when the democratic elected ones were ruling Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we never saw any peace there. Whatsoever that these terrorist activities were still ongoing. Yet, we had people who moved away from wherever they are, who do not want to see us in their countries, coming into our country to risk it all to protect us. What an irony. What an irony. That people who do not want to set their eyes on you in their country can risk everything all to come into Africa to protect us. This is beautiful. Africans are so special, and that is why these people will sacrifice everything it takes to come into the continent to save us. But we know why they are always in Africa. And the democratic elected leaders, instead of them to rise up and look for how best we are going to defend ourselves, we still sit here and leave everything in the hands of these people. No wonder people say they are the gatekeepers. So they have to make sure that whatsoever that Yolo Popo is looking for will keep happening.
General Assimi Goïta'S has worked tirelessly to realize the military industry promised by the transitional president, General Assimi Goïta'S. And indeed, to make this a reality, Malian soldiers have been sent for training in China and Morocco. In Morocco, why? To learn parachute jumping. And in China, to learn how to assemble war tools or military equipment. We learn more with our reporter, Alassane Amadou.
The Malian army is forging its own path. The long-awaited Namwe military autonomy is finally becoming a reality. The Malian authorities are realizing one of their people's greatest dreams. It is to equip themselves with an independent and sovereign defense tool.
The organization of our armed forces has been revitalized to ensure better responsiveness and increased efficiency on the ground. Our soldiers are now trained according to the best standards and are equipped with materials suited to their mission. In order to consolidate the operational achievements of 2024 and envisage further successes, the process of equipping the armed and security forces will be perfected in 2025 with the establishment of a military industry. We are actively working on setting up armament zones with units for assembling individual and collective weapons, assembling light tactical vehicles, manufacturing ammunition and explosives for civilian use.
In the face of a nation watching with hope this promise from the transitional president is beginning to materialize. That is why Malian soldiers are being trained in China on assembling all-terrain vehicles. During the training, they learn to assemble the chassis and attach the engines, install the cooling systems and exhaust, set up the transmission, clutch and gearbox, adjust the suspension and adapt the shock absorbers to the terrain conditions, assemble the wheels, check the alignment, and install the braking systems. Finalize the electrification and repair. Finishing touches. This valuable training will allow them to put into practice the experiences gained within our military industry. At the same time, 165 members of the Malian Armed Forces are undergoing training in automatic parachute jumping in Morocco. A training spread out in 3 phases. The first involves a medical examination conducted by the doctors of the 1st Parachute Infantry Brigade. A phase of ground instruction conducted by the instructors of the 1st Parachute Infantry Brigade.
We are in the final phase of ground instructions in the technical area. We have received practical and theoretical instructions from the instructors or highly qualified trainers to conduct a round parachute jump.
Automatic parachute jumps performed from the C-130 aircraft. Above the Sad Al Magnon jump zone in Bengrir, Al Majnoun à Bengrir. During this phase, each trainee performs set phase or automatic opening jumps at an altitude of 4,000 meters.
This comprehensive parachuting training is part of strengthening the operational capabilities of women in the military. These parachutists you see landing have just joined the large and inclusive family of parachutists.
This training in Morocco is the first step in a series of trainings that will involve more than 500 Malian military personnel. These initiatives, supported by the transitional authorities, represent a major step forward towards a more autonomous and better equipped army. A key step to sustainably ensure national sovereignty through the military industry.
So they have to pull these people there who will leave everything open in the guise of democracy for Yellow Popo to have easy access to whatsoever that they are looking for. But Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have said no. And we need to equip ourselves with all the necessary skills that we need. We don't have to sit here and say we lack this, we lack that. And that is why our all in all, Assimi Goïta have decided to send their military out to acquire skills. We've seen that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are doing everything possible in their power to give us everything that we are looking for. Mali is getting the skills that they need. Burkina Faso, Niger, and together they team up and they have one army. So all these ones will get all the skills that they need from their respective training grounds, put everything together, and will have a very strong force to defend ourselves. We will continue to fight for Africa till Africa becomes free. And we have understood that if there is anybody that will get us the freedom, that can defend us better, it is ourselves and not any other person from anywhere. Anybody that promises us security, safety is only lying to us. They are only there for their interests and not for we the Africans. And we the Africans have to realize that we are the only ones that can set ourselves free. We are the only ones that can fight for ourselves. We are the only ones that can protect ourselves. Until we understand this, we'll continue to be talking. Democracy will never get us anywhere. Like Captain Ibrahim Traore rightfully said, before you think and believe that democracy will get you to anywhere, look backwards and ask yourselves, do your own research, sit down and take into account for the past decade what you have achieved under democracy. That is why these leaders will come and promise you and do nothing, and nothing happens. If truly democracy is there for the good of the people and Yellow Popo is for our interest, why is it that the bad leaders that are doing nothing, that are looting, destroying, borrowing and not using the money for what it's meant for, these people are not holding them accountable? We are the only ones that can set ourselves free, and that is the reason to which we have to join hands with Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso to get Africa to where we want to be. Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso have given us a revolution, and we all have to join in the songs of this revolution to get ourselves a better Africa. Have you seen any democratically elected country acquiring weapons, getting their own factories? It is never possible. But ever since Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso decided to move out of the oppression, out of the chains, out of the systems of Yellow Popo, we've seen a different dimension. And if we truly want to see all these things happen in our countries, then we have to join hands with Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso's revolution and see beyond borders, because these borders are there for the benefit of Yellow Popo, so that we will never be able to unite to fight for whatsoever that we want. If Africa will be free, it will be based on our unity. We are one. We are one people from one ancestor, regardless of the colors under which Yellow Popo kept you. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.